Think back to the last TV show or film you watched where a character thoroughly captivated you. Were they a decent, average person doing regular things all day? Probably not. They might have been a noble hero, but it's also likely that the character was, instead, a little devious. Or maybe more than a little. Often the stories that we choose to engage with follow someone who's morally ambiguous or just plain bad. Think Don Draper of Mad Men, Marvel's Loki, Walter White of Breaking Bad, or Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. Audiences opt to spend many hours with characters like these. In one fascinating 2023 study, the psychologists Anna Gantman and Jordan C. Wiley asked people to rate the morality of the main characters of their most watched Netflix shows over a 5-month period, and then examined how these judgments related to how much time viewers spent watching the shows. They found that, on average, people spent more time watching shows with protagonists who were immoral. And this was despite the participants saying that shows with more immoral protagonists took more effort to watch. Some of the most popular shows on Netflix during that time frame included You, featuring a charismatic stalker and murderer, and Inventing Anna, about the con artist Anna Sorokin. Why are we more captivated by characters who do bad things than those who do good ones? The popularity of their story suggests that these characters help meet some psychological demand in the millions of viewers who follow them on their journeys.
You're a bloody psychopath.
High-functioning sociopath.
To explore this further, let's consider 2 ways of watching a show about a killer. In one common scenario, you're rooting for the detective to catch and stop the criminal. In a film like David Fincher's Seven, you follow detectives seeking justice by unraveling the puzzle a killer's laid out. You're being asked to act as a third-party observer of the events and then cast judgment on them. Another way to describe what you're often asked to do is to practice your moral judgment, sharpening your sense of what is good and bad, and ultimately identifying with the good guy and condemning the bad guy. A different kind of story of a killer is one where you're asked to identify with and relate to the murderer. The show Dexter is a good example. Dexter is immoral. He kills people, but he's also a family man and has a backstory that invites the audience to hope for his continued murderous success. He's a classic anti-hero, someone who's bad but has redeeming qualities. In Dexter's case, he adheres to a code that rationalizes his murders. He mostly only kills other killers. When watching Dexter, you're asked to spend a lot of time with him and feel along with him. In both Seven and Dexter, the mind of the killer is intriguing, following an idiosyncratic set of rules. There is some puzzle to solve. Yet, in one, the killer is the protagonist, and viewers are invited to understand and root for him. The research suggests that people want to know why immoral people do what they do. What makes bad people behave badly?
So why do you think your father suggested you come for counselling?
I think because my mother died and he can't talk about it. And my sister and I didn't speak for a year because she thinks I tried to sleep with her husband. And because I spent most of my adult life using sex to deflect from the screaming void inside my empty heart. I'm good at this.
Perhaps when we spend hours watching or reading about anti-heroes, we're in search of this kind of information about the characters' minds and motives. And it may be that following around immoral protagonists helps audiences satisfy that basic desire. When we follow these characters, we're getting to learn about extremes of social and moral life that we might never personally encounter. The creators of fictional worlds, be it Dexter's Miami or more fantastical settings like Asgard in the Marvel universe, are engaging in world building. That is, they create a coherent setting that situates characters in physical space and lets the audience understand them psychologically. They get to know their histories, personalities, and the circumstances and struggles that shaped their beliefs and desires. In the case of Dexter, viewers access his history of trauma, his own experiences with loss at the hands of a murderer, and a window into his conflicted feelings about his murderous desires.
Am I good? I'm done asking those questions. I don't have the answers.
Good world building allows us to make some sense of a wrongdoer's behavior. Just as geographic maps represent physical space, people create internal representations of social space. Engaging with fictional moral extremes can help a person chart this territory, filling in the map with rich details and many different kinds of people and relationships. Audiences may opt to engage with immoral characters for longer, partly because people's understanding of individuals who are immoral, compared with morally good, is more precarious, and baddies may offer especially rich information. There are relatively few ways to be good in the world, but many, many ways to be bad. By accessing the internal states of immoral characters that usually aren't available through direct experience, audience members are able to make richer maps of the social world. Engaging with them allows you to mentally travel to the far reaches of social acceptability, the outer spaces of the map where likable mobsters and principled serial killers live. Having a richer map of the social world, partly informed by immoral fictional characters, may help people navigate the social world in real life. When someone engages with fictional characters, they're better able to understand why real people do the things they do, and may even become better at predicting what people will do next. Indeed, people seem to have a sense that they have something to learn from morally ambiguous and immoral characters.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
Characters like Dexter or Tony Soprano capture viewers' interest because the allure of grasping why they are the way they are draws us in. As someone follows a captivating anti-hero, the process brings with it the promise of understanding their motives. And audiences learn about these characters' minds with curiosity and sustained attention in a way that we seldom can with purely evil, unrelatable villains or even bad actors in our own lives. These narratives often ask the audience to set aside the typical role of judge and jury, and instead to join in, to feel alongside evildoers and criminals. This is ultimately a social exercise. It shapes one's understanding of moral boundaries in the real world, what the boundaries are, how people navigate them, and why someone might cross them.